Someone leaked an entire animated film on Twitter. Not a clip, not a trailer, the whole movie. A 26-year-old man is now facing 7 years in prison over an Avatar movie that most of the world hadn't even heard was coming out. The animators who spent years building this film watched their work get passed around on social media like memes. And Paramount? They were scrambling because somehow an entire unreleased feature film ended up on X for anyone to watch for free. This is the story of how The Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender leaked, what it destroyed, and what it might cost everyone involved. Let's rewind. The Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender was originally set to hit theaters on October 10th, 2025. A proper theatrical release. Big screens, opening weekend hype, the whole thing. The film was directed by Lauren Montgomery, a name well known in animation circles, and the cast they assembled was genuinely stacked. Taika Waititi, Ke Huy Quan, Dave Bautista, Steven Yeun, Frida Pinto, Geraldine Viswanathan. That's not a streaming-only cast. That's a cinematic event cast. The story follows Avatar Aang, the world's last airbender, who discovers an ancient power that could save his culture from extinction. With his friends by his side, he races to find it before it falls into the wrong hands and destroys the piece they all sacrificed everything to achieve. Fans were excited. The Avatar IP had survived the live-action Netflix series, and this felt like a proper animated homecoming. Then came the first punch to the gut. The October 2025 release was pushed back to January 30th, 2026. Okay, delays happen. The animation world understood that. Then came the second punch. In December 2025, Deadline reported that the film, greenlit by the previous Paramount Animation administration, would not be getting a theatrical release at all. Instead, it would stream exclusively on Paramount Plus on October 9th, 2026. Think about that timeline. First, they pull it from theaters. Then, they push the streaming date almost a full year out. The animators had already done the work. The voice cast had recorded. Flying Bark Productions in Australia had already delivered the film. And Paramount essentially said, "We'll get to it eventually." The Avatar fanbase was furious. And that fury created the conditions for what happened next. One weekend in April 2026, an X account called I'm Still Dissin posted clips from The Legend of Aang. Real clips. Unmistakably final render quality. The account claimed that someone at Nickelodeon had accidentally emailed them the entire Avatar Aang movie. The internet erupted. Within hours, the entire film had been posted on X. Not just clips this time, the whole movie, watchable for free, months before it was supposed to stream. Despite takedown efforts, it remained viewable on the platform days later. This almost never happens. Clips leak, trailers drop early, but a full completed feature film? Piracy is common on social media platforms, but it is very rare for an entire film to leak this far in advance of its release date. Paramount's response was immediate. They launched an investigation. But here's the twist that changed the entire story. Paramount determined that the leak did not come from within the studio. So where did it come from? A 26-year-old man had been arrested for leaking the film. According to reports, he had gained unauthorized remote access to a media server, from which he downloaded the film before distributing it online. This wasn't a rogue employee. This wasn't an accidental email. Someone deliberately hacked into a server, pulled an unreleased animated feature film, and put it on the internet because they were angry about a streaming deal. Local police seized electronic devices, including a digital copy of the unreleased film. The investigation was confirmed by sources after Singapore's Straits Times broke the story. And the consequences are not small. Under Singapore law, unauthorized access to computer material carries a maximum sentence of 7 years in prison, a fine of up to $50,000 or both. 7 years for leaking an Avatar movie. And Flying Bird Productions, the Australian studio that animated the film, put out a statement almost immediately. Their spokesperson said, "It was heartbreaking to see footage leak online. This leak did not originate from Flying Bark. Our studio proudly partnered on the production until the very end, and we acknowledge the filmmakers, cast, artists, and animators who worked tirelessly to produce this incredibly crafted film." They didn't need to say that, but they did. Because the people who made this film needed someone to speak up for them.